As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her clients' rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Sometimes life pulls you from up here to down here to teach you a lesson. And you're in a valley right now. And there are lessons in this valley. I hope you learn from them.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Axe-throwing bar owner Nathan Avalon is suing Jeremy Biltman in the amount of $1,000. Mr. Avalon claims Mr. Biltman caused water damage at his establishment after he threw a hatchet at a sprinkler nozzle.
Mr. Avalon, you're suing Mr. Biltman for $1,000 for property damage. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
I didn't hear.
Mr. Billman here, he came to my establishment. I have a...
What kind of establishment do you have?
It's an axe-throwing establishment.
Axe-throwing?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
What is axe-throwing?
Well, so it's been popular over the last few months. So you come to the establishment, we have axes, we have targets.
Right.
You can buy alcohol, beers, we have a liquor license. So you just come.
You have people throwing axes and drinking beer and alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you come in, there's, people like competitive things.
Did you bring me anything, any pictures or?
Yes, I have an axe here for you.
Okay. Let me see the axe you used. You left it outside, I think, right?
Yes.
Let me see it.
I didn't want to bring any weapons into the court.
You weren't allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it?
Yeah, so you are throwing it to a wooden target.
Right, but it doesn't have this cover on it though, right?
Oh, it doesn't have the cover on it when you're throwing it.
Okay, and so how many, if I come in and I want to throw axes, how many of these do you give me?
Well, you're going to get one, and then you're going to get the lane for an hour.
Oh, so I throw it, go get it, throw it, go get it kind of thing.
So we have two people in the lane. They both throw at the same time.
Like at a dartboard, they're throwing at some target.
So there's a center target that's worth 5 points.
Okay.
The circle after that is 3.
Okay.
The outer perimeter 1, and then there are green dots that are worth 7.
Couldn't you just have had dartboards?
Yeah, but that's then. This is now.
Okay, this is the now, which is why you're in court though.
Well, I had a certain list of rules that had to be followed, and they were not followed.
Did you bring me a video?
Yes, I did bring you a video.
The video is of what?
The proper technique of throwing the axe.
Okay, let me see the video.
Okay. So as you can see, I can demonstrate it for you, Judge.
Right.
It's pretty simple.
So there's a cage separating.
Yeah, there's a net separating
like a bowling alley kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, but there's a cage. All right. So what were you doing there that night?
I was there for my bachelor party.
Your bachelor party. So were you and some other guys then?
Yeah, 4 of my groomsmen.
4 of your groomsmen. Okay. So they came in saying, had you ever thrown axes before?
I'd been like 2 or 3 times in the city.
Okay, to his establishment?
No, to other establishments.
To other establishments.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see him when he comes in?
Yes. He did not know about the axe throwing because it was a surprise, everything for his bachelor party.
Right.
So his friends had reserved it beforehand. So I knew that a bachelor party was coming in.
Okay. Did it look like he had been drinking already? He started the party before he got to you, or?
Well, it was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so it wasn't that. It wasn't a time to where you think someone would be intoxicated.
Right. Were you drinking when you got there?
I had been drinking.
You had been drinking.
Yes.
Okay. And so when he got there, did you talk to him particularly? Or?
Well, I personally talked to the entire group.
Okay. What did you tell him?
Well, I went over all the rules.
Okay. Did you have the rules in writing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let me see the rules.
I went over all the rules. I demonstrated the proper technique of throwing the axe.
Right.
And they proceeded to use their time and throw the axes.
Okay. No throwing underhand.
Yes.
Retrieve your axe at the same time. Both competitors never throw an axe while the other one is retrieving theirs. No more than 2 people can. This is a lot of rules because it can continue to go.
I mean, yes, but I feel like they're all common.
An establishment that is allowing people to drink.
Well, I don't expect my patrons to be coming in intoxicated already.
But they can get intoxicated right there at your place.
Yeah, but there's only a 3-drink maximum.
There's a 3-drink maximum.
And we only serve beer.
Oh, you only serve beer?
Yes.
Is that right? He only serves beer?
IPAs, Your Honor. They're stronger than a lot of people think.
What's an IPA?
Strong beer.
Okay. Okay, so strong beer.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happened then? They start playing.
They start throwing the axes. They start breaking rules. He starts throwing the axe underhand. They're being rambunctious. They're roughhousing.
Right.
And
did
I
you
understand.
ask them to leave? Or did you ask them to leave?
No, I asked them to stop. I told him that he was not allowed to throw the axe underhand.
Right. So throwing it underhanded is.
So basically, the proper way of throwing the axe.
It's holding it down here and throwing it like that, as opposed to not like this.
Instead of coming with two hands and throwing it over the top.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
It just seems to me with this type of sport, whether I'm throwing this overhand or if I'm throwing it underhand, it could end up out of my hand, whether I'm sober or not.
And later.
She was the cause of 4 of our forfeited games. She committed to those games.
So 4 days in total.
Right.
She didn't come. What happened those days?
I did try my best to follow through with those commitments.
Right.
My rent went up, I need to pay bills, and work has to come first. That's what my dad always told me.
Closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Nathan Avalon, who is suing Jeremy Biltman for property damage.
Do you remember reading these rules?
I mean, like you said yourself, Your Honor, this is a long list of rules.
Right.
And
Do
I'm
you remember reading the rules?
It was my bachelor party, Your Honor.
Does that mean no, I don't remember reading the rules?
I have like a vague sense of the rules.
A vague sense of
I'm
the
not going to
rules.
throw an axe at a person. Yeah,
Right.
no, I heard the most important rules, but I may have glossed over the underhand.
Right. Well,
part of
what
it.
was the waiver you had him sign?
Well, yes, I just was about to say that he signed a waiver saying that he read the rules. There was also more information saying that he would be liable if anything were to happen.
Okay, so now, not only are they reading these rules, they're reading this. This is funny. That you have people come into an establishment where they can drink, and you have them read these rules, and then you have them sign this long waiver. Is this the waiver he signed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign this? Is this your signature?
That is my signature. Your
Okay,
Honor.
you remember signing it?
Yeah.
Did you remember reading it?
I'd say I read the first couple lines.
Oh, okay. All right, so what went wrong here?
Okay, well, Your Honor, Mr. Biltman here was throwing the axe underhand.
Right.
I gave him multiple warnings.
Right. How many times did you see him throw it underhand?
I saw him throw it twice, and I gave him 2 warnings.
Okay. You said don't do it again.
Don't do it again. I told him, if I see you do it again, I will be throwing you out of the
You said I'm going to throw
establishment.
you out of here if you do it again. But why didn't you just throw him out after the second time?
Well,
Didn't you tell me that he appeared that he had been drinking before he got there?
well, I couldn't
Did you
necessarily
tell me that he appeared to be drinking before he got
I
there?
assumed that they had had a drink or two before they
I
came.
also thought I read in your statement, in your sworn statement, that you saw him drinking alcohol out of a flask.
Yes, that's what I was getting to.
Okay.
When I saw him drinking the alcohol out of the flask, that was it. I was walking over to throw him out of the establishment, and right after he took a swig from the flask, he threw the axe underhand, and it went to one of my sprinklers, causing water damage, and I had to shut down the establishment for the day, and I had to pay a deductible through my insurance.
Okay. What was in the flask?
Bourbon, Your Honor.
Bourbon was Kentucky bourbon.
Absolutely.
I guess. Okay. Where were these sprinklers in this place? Was the ceiling as high as it is here?
I would say the ceiling was they were pretty high. They maybe about 15 feet.
About 15 feet high.
And there are sprinklers throughout, every certain amount of feet.
It just seems to me with this type of sport, whether I'm throwing this overhand or if I'm throwing it underhand, it could end up there. Because it could end up out of my hand, whether I'm sober or not.
This is true, Your Honor, but there was always someone there with the group, so we wouldn't allow.
Was somebody with your group all the time?
They were not, Your Honor. And you'll notice
Who's Greg Oren?
That would be my character witness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Court calls Greg Oren. Come forward and be sworn, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so had y'all been drinking before you got to the club? Got to the axe throwing spot?
Oh, so I was actually not a part of Mr. Biltman's group. I was on my separate group, so I was there for my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was pretty good, to be honest.
Okay. Had you been drinking?
A little bit. I mean, like Mr. Biltman, we're both young guys, so.
He's not a friend of yours?
No, not a friend.
So you have been called as a witness for what purpose?
I was there from the beginning to the end, and I was in the lane right next to his.
Okay.
So in many ways, I saw what happened from the beginning to the end. All the events
what did you want to
transpired.
add to this testimony?
So basically, I think both are in the wrong here, but I think one was in more of the wrong, right? Because
tell me what it is. Tell me what you saw that made you believe that.
For sure. So yeah, we were in the lane right next to Mr. Biltman, and it was clear that he was drinking. Right. Any person who's been to a party, you can always see the sloppy ones.
So you could tell right off the bat.
Yeah, anyone could have.
Before he started drinking the beer from the Axe place.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw him putting a couple of drinks into the flask also.
Right.
I mean, anyone, even in the store next door, could have seen he was intoxicated.
Right.
But what it comes down to is when I first got to the axe throwing facility, one of the rules I saw was that there will be an employee in your lane at all times.
Is that true?
That is a rule.
Okay. Well, why wasn't there an employee in his lane?
Well, currently on that day, I was understaffed. We had only been open for about a month, so I was the only...
But if there was an employee in his lane, maybe you could have put a stop to this before it got to this point.
Well, they were the only two
You were the one talking about the rules.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, and this is your own rule you broke.
And there were only two parties.
You had no employee in the lane.
Yes, Your Honor, but there were only two parties, and I was watching over both parties at the same time.
It's your rule.
Yes.
There's always going to be somebody in that lane, and there's a reason for that. Why do you have that rule?
To make sure that everything is being done properly
and nobody
safely.
throws an axe up at your fire sprinklers.
Yes.
I'm ready to rule. I think that it's irresponsible to this seems dangerous to me. This type of danger, I could chop up meat with this, a turkey and everything with this thing. And that you have people drinking alcohol. You have a rule that somebody's supposed to be there. There's a reason why somebody's supposed to be there. You weren't there. I think this could have happened even if somebody was throwing it overhanded. And I think you had plenty of opportunities to throw this character out, and you didn't do that. Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I know I could have done a better job enforcing my rules, but you need to grow up, man.
Hey, it was my bachelor party. You could have kicked me out whenever you wanted to.
Coming up.
So I missed three Saturdays because of work. I missed a fourth Saturday because my father, he's a bit older, he slipped and he fell into a coma.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Volleyball team captain Lex Williams is suing Brooke DeVito in the amount of $375. Mr. Williams claims Ms. DeVito was a no-show for several games and says their team was forced to forfeit the matches.
All right, Mr. Williams, you are suing Ms. DeVito for $375, and it has to do with a breach of contract on a volleyball team.
Yes, Your Honor, beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
Yes.
So you play beach volleyball?
Yeah, we all
and
play
you play
beach volleyball?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's
a co-ed team.
It's a co-ed
yes.
team. Okay, so how many players are on a team?
So this particular team that I facilitated had 5 guys and 3 girls.
So there are 4 players out.
Yes.
On the court?
Yes, and if there are any less than, 2 girls on the court are not unavailable, we have to forfeit.
Then you can't play the game.
You can't
forfeit the game.
Right.
So how long have you been playing beach volleyball?
Well, I've been playing all sorts of volleyball in a recreational sense since middle school, and recently started the beach volleyball here.
Okay.
We actually, Lex and I played on a team together in the spring.
Okay, is that how you know him? All right, so you put together a summer team.
Yes.
All right, and what was the agreement, ma'am, you had with the plaintiff?
That I would play throughout the summer season.
Okay.
We had made a schedule for our initial meeting. We sat down, everybody on the team sat down and made a schedule.
Of when they're gonna be able to play?
Yes.
Coming up.
I missed a fourth Saturday because my father, he's a bit older, he slipped and he fell into a coma.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Lex Williams, who is suing Brooke DeVito for breach of contract.
Okay, so you said I can play this day, this day, this day, but I can't play that day.
At the time, I said there were 2 dates that I couldn't play.
Okay.
And since I'm a freelance photographer,
okay,
I said my schedule can be a little up in the air sometimes.
Right. She did not mention that at the beginning.
Let me see what she signed.
Okay. So this is the actual schedule, Your Honor.
Okay. Did she sign with her unavailable dates?
Yes. So all of the dates where you see an X next to, those are the dates she was supposed to show up, and she didn't show up. So she agreed to play 6 of the 8 games. She did not mention at all that her schedule would be inflexible. She's a freelance photographer. She's going to be doing extra stuff.
Right. And then she had to pay for this?
Yes, we all had to pay.
Okay, so why are we here?
So we're here because she was the cause of 4 of our forfeited games. She committed to those games.
So 4 days in total.
Right.
She didn't come. What happened those days?
So I have work, sometimes last-minute photography sessions. I book last-minute photography sessions, and they pay a little bit of money, and I did try my best to follow through with those commitments. Right. My rent went up, I need to pay bills, and work has to come first. That's what my dad always told me. Yeah. Work has to come first. Right. And there are other women on the team.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
How many other women were there on the team?
So there were 2 other women on the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how come you couldn't play those other 2 women?
Well, we did when they were available, and they already, confirmed their schedule at the beginning of the season when we all sat down.
So if you said she didn't show up on a day that she was supposed to show up, and that other woman, one of the women, wasn't going to be available anyway.
Correct.
Because everybody gave their schedule.
Yes, at the beginning of the season.
Everybody gave their schedule.
Everyone gave their schedule. Okay. So I missed 3 Saturdays because of work. I missed a 4th Saturday because my father, he's a bit older, he slipped and he fell into a coma. That was the game that kind of decided if we were going to even possibly move on as a team. And
they lost that game?
We had to forfeit.
Yeah, we had to forfeit the game. Yeah.
So what are you suing for? What does this $375 represent?
I took half of the games we missed due to her not showing up and came up with $375.
But this $375 shouldn't go to you.
Oh, no, it's not going to me.
But you're the one who brought the lawsuit.
Yeah, so since I'm the team captain,
yeah, but you don't have the authority to sue on behalf of the team. So how much is each person getting back?
So I'm 75.
That's what everybody gets $75, including you.
Right.
Because I'm going to give you $75. But you don't have a right to collect for everybody when you're not incorporated. You're this loose group of people that get together and play in an informal way. You don't have the authority to collect on behalf of everybody. All right, so I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $75. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $75.
I was just trying to do what was best for the team, but at least I got my money back.
I never meant to miss a game, but I will make sure you get your money.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.